From WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, this is News Center 16 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tricia Sloma, and we start with breaking news about one of the most recognizable buildings in Michiana and in all of sports. Major renovation plans for Notre Dame Stadium are now official. The $400 million plan will add multi-purpose and multi-story buildings to the east, west, and south sides of the stadium. Those buildings will house classrooms, meeting rooms, rec sports, and fitness facilities, a digital media center, a club, and even a ballroom. 3,000 to 4,000 premium and club seats will be added as part of the plan. The current press box will be dismantled and moved to the other sideline, and luxury seating will be put in its place. A final decision on artificial turf and a video board will be made soon. This is the second major renovation in the 83-year history of the house that Rockne built. More than 20,000 seats in the upper bowl of the stadium were added in 1997. Construction will start in the next 2 years, and the project should take just under 3 years to complete. We have a crew gathering more information on the stadium renovation plans, and we'll have much more on WNDU.com, and we'll bring you the very latest tonight, beginning on News Center 16 at 5. An arrest has been made in an armed robbery that put Bethel students on alert. The incident happened at around midnight. At least one person held up the 7-Eleven near the intersection of Logan and Jefferson Streets. This is the store near Bethel College. 19-year-old Aliyah Brown has been arrested in connection with the crime. She was found near the scene and is being identified as an accomplice. Bethel College sent an alert to students as police flooded the surrounding area. Friends and family gathered yesterday to remember the victim of last week's shooting at Purdue University. Services for 21-year-old Andrew Bolt were held in his hometown of Wisconsin. Several students and faculty from Purdue took buses to the service. 23-year-old student Cody Cousins is accused in Bolt's death. Both men were teaching assistants at Purdue, and the professor they worked with published a letter in Purdue's student newspaper. It says, in part, Drew was zealous in his promotion of academic honesty and integrity. My last conversation with Drew was minutes before the incident that took his life. He called my office to check about references. Classic Drew. Attention to detail. Stickler for integrity. Always wanting to do things the right way. Purdue has scheduled a day of healing for students on Friday. Counselors and comfort dogs will be on campus for students. Well, on to weather now. The sunshine is helping to warm things up outside, although it's still cold. We are making progress, David.
That's right, Tricia. You know, I went in the vehicle on my break and I went out and about. It was cold inside the car, but if you put your hand up in the sunlight, boy, oh boy, it actually felt nice, even given our extremely cold temperatures. Now, satellite radar combination has showed that most of the cloud cover, even closer to the lakeshore, is starting to dissipate at this hour. High pressure building to the south will encourage warmer temperatures all across Michiana. Time-lapse video. It was a gorgeous start to the day. Look at the sun. They got those pinks, those oranges, the light blues all across Michiana this morning. It was a picture-esque morning, and it looks like we'll see more of that this afternoon. Our temperatures also will be on the rise. In fact, double digits all across the board. The one exception in southwest lower Michigan and Cassopolis showing up as 6 degrees, but the majority of our temperatures continue to push warmer. Now, we do have to worry about some wind chills across parts of Michiana. Sub-zero in South Bend, 3 degrees below zero in Walkerton and across most of Michiana. But I'm going to talk about warmer temperatures to come coming up in your Storm Team 16 forecast, along with more winter weather that is in store later in the forecast. Tricia.
All right, thanks a lot, David. Well, grain farmers are encouraged to help out their neighbors. The Indiana Farm Bureau is asking grain farmers who have extra propane to give it to livestock farmers. The frigid weather and propane shortages have led some farmers to be in danger of losing some of their animals. Chicks, baby turkeys, and baby pigs are especially susceptible to harsh cold weather. Dairy farmers also need propane to heat water for sanitizing equipment and tanks. Excess propane that isn't nearby can be returned to the propane supply chain to help out other producers trying to find the fuel. The House has passed an almost $100 billion a year compromise farm bill that would make small cuts to food stamps and continue generous subsidies for the nation's farmers. The vote was 251 to 166. The 5-year bill now goes to the Senate, which is expected to send it to the president. The measure had solid backing from the House GOP leadership, even though it makes smaller cuts to food stamps than they would have liked. The bill would cut about $800 million a year from the $80 billion a year program, or about 1%. The House previously sought a 5% cut. Christmas tree farmers hoping for a federally subsidized marketing and research fund are closer to getting their wish. The Farm Bill would revive the fund. The program, known as a checkoff, is a lot like the Got Milk campaign. It will allow the industry to charge farmers a fee to raise money for marketing and research. The program has been on hold for years after some conservatives called it a tax.
I think it was just an education issue. Some of the extreme right-wing groups tried to make out that there's some tax. There's no taxpayer money involved at all. It's an assessment by the industry itself on itself to help it promote their industry and, frankly, do research.
Tree farmers have been campaigning for a PR boost in response to dwindling Christmas tree sales in recent years. Fresh off the State of the Union, the president is on the road today promoting a higher minimum wage and retirement security. Daniel Lee has more on the president's efforts to make last night's speech much more than a one-night event.
Employees at this Costco in Lanham, Maryland don't make the minimum wage. They make much more. The company reportedly pays an average of $20.89 an hour. It's why President Obama is paying them a visit to reiterate his call on Congress to raise the minimum wage to $10.10 an hour.
Treating workers well is not just the right thing to do, it is an investment.
The president is on a 2-day, 4-state trip, expanding on the State of the Union and his action plan to increase economic opportunities for all Americans, a task the president has said will require teamwork in Washington.
Let's see where else we can make progress together. Let's make this a year of action.
Inside the House, action is already underway. Lawmakers passed a 5-year compromise farm bill.
The yeas are 251, the nays are 166.
And where Congress can't agree, the president says he'll work around them. Republicans say they want to make Washington work better, too. But they disagree with the president on tactics, specifically raising the minimum wage.
We don't want to make it harder for people to hire people. We want to get people into the workforce.
Republicans say they want to empower Americans and argue the president's economic agenda means fewer options, not more. In Washington, I'm Danielle Lee, NBC News.
Republican Congresswoman Jackie Walorski responded to the president's statements on creating jobs, promising to pass policies that will drive the nation's economy.
Unfortunately, over the past year, the administration has added extra hurdles to this task by enacting irresponsible portions of Obamacare and increasing red tape from bloated government agencies, hindering job creation and stifling economic growth. So far, over 108,000 Hoosiers have lost their preferred health care plan, violating a key promise from President Obama, who repeatedly said, if you like your plan, you can keep it. We know that simply isn't true. The bottom line is that Obamacare is moving our economy in the wrong direction.
Before the speech, Democratic Senator Joe Donnelly released a video detailing what he hoped to hear from the president's speech, including ending military suicide and creating jobs. However, the senator has not yet released a statement following the president's speech. Michigan's 6th District Representative, Republican Fred Upton, said he was pleased with the president's tone, that he said he did not take the heavy partisan line that some expected. He went on to say, quote, "I was encouraged to hear the president again talk about his commitment to lower tax rates and promote job growth and innovation here at home. We need a year of action, not dysfunction."
More to come on News Center 16.
He's covered in a fur coat, but that isn't enough to protect Fido from frostbite. More on this cold weather concern. A restaurant is taking the sting out of the bitter cold by offering soup at a price equal to the day's high temperature. Plus, football fans are excited for the big game, but for others, it's all about the ads. A sneak peek at some of the commercials set to air come Sunday.
Big smiles on all faces across Michiana. We're finally in the double digits above zero. I'll talk about warmer temperatures to come after the break.
You're watching WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority. News Center 16 at noon. Tracking severe weather right down to where you live. Storm Team 16 is your weather authority.
After a couple of days of sub-zero temperatures, a lot of snow, a lot of wind, not seeing too much of that today. There still are some snow-covered roadways. We take a look at our sky view image in St. Joe, Michigan. You can see some of the snow-covered roads, and it's blanketing some areas across Michiana. And those winds will be picking up, so you may notice some of that snow blowing around later today. As we take a look at our sky view image here at the WNDU studios, you'll note that bit clearer on the roadways, but still they are slippery. Do take extra time while out and about today and in the days to come. The temperature right now, 11 degrees. It's nice to finally see the double digits, isn't it? Even though it may not feel that cold out, or feel that warm outside rather, the cold temperatures are going to be increasing into the warmer category over the next couple of days. Still watching that wind out of the west-southwest though at 14 miles per hour. That's going to help aid our temperatures in that warming trend later today. Temperatures across the board teasing the 20s. There in Michigan City, 18 degrees currently, 15 in Elkhart, 10 degrees in both Goshen and Shipshewana at this hour. Let's take a look at the 24-hour temperature change. The numbers and the colors, the warmer the color, the transition from yellow to red, that's the warming trend. That's the temperature change compared to 24 hours ago. So the numbers, 14 degrees warmer here in South Bend than it was at this time yesterday, 15 degrees warmer in LaPorte, 13 degrees warmer in Warsaw. So the big change, it is that southerly flow and the sunny weather. Take a look at the wind chill values. Winds are still picking up at 5 to 15 miles per hour and will certainly do so later today. We could still see a cold and frigid start to the daytime on Thursday, but not a lot of activity when we talk about wind chill warnings and that sort of thing. We do have clear skies as high pressure builds in from the south, but we have big changes because snow showers are back on our doorstep as we look to the next couple of days. 16 future track in motion, that high pressure system bringing in a southerly flow. So that's why we'll see 20s in the near future with the warm front lifting through. That's only going to aid in temperatures. In fact, as we look to the daytime on Thursday, could see highs in the middle and upper 20s. Snow showers are back in town late Thursday and will be with us throughout the daytime Friday as this frontal boundary becomes more stationary. And then we'll add in another chance of snow showers once we get to the weekend. Storm Team 16 forecast for the entire viewing area, 15 degrees today. We're going to keep it a green day this afternoon. Temperatures will be warming. You could even see some 20s in the area. We're back to the yellow category late Thursday, a high temperature of 27. That's going to feel nice compared to what we have been seeing as of late. A yellow day on Friday, 21 degrees as that front pushes through. And then look what happens on Saturday. Could see snowfall across most of the viewing area. And then again on Tuesday, those are the 2 days we're watching for significant snow. As of Saturday, I'm looking at anywhere from 2 to 4 inches. The further south you go, the more snow you will see.
We're veterans by now, so we can handle it.
Yes, we know exactly what to do in winter weather now.
All right, thanks a lot, David. Well, the brutally cold winter temperatures can be deadly for people and pets. Veterinarians are seeing more cases of frostbite in animals. They also hope that folks will provide warm shelter for our four-legged friends.
People can get frostbite just within a few hours being in really cold weather, so it's no different for them.
Dr. Michelle Gonzalez tends to a feral cat under anesthesia that has frostbitten ears.
The circulation has been cut because of the cold weather, and they have kind of like a leathery feel to them, and they will eventually fall off and cause problems.
Ears are the first body part to freeze. They don't have a lot of fur. They are thin and can't withstand winter's worst.
This is dead tissue, scabs, kind of like clotted blood, and just dead skin in general.
Sugar is another feral cat trapped and rescued by a good Samaritan in the nick of time. A second cat with her did not survive this brutal cold. Dr. Gonzalez says a bad infection set in. Painful for us to look at, painful for any animal to endure.
Once the infection is under control, then she'll probably need surgery to remove the dead tissue.
Dr. Gonzalez says just because your pet likes to be outdoors doesn't mean it should stay outdoors in weather like this. A few days ago, this Great Pyrenees could have blended in with the heavy snowfall when
he was hit by a car. The person that hit him just kept driving, and a good Samaritan that was driving behind stopped and saw him hurt and brought him in.
2-year-old Avalanche suffered lung bruising and lung contusions.
The SPCA says keeping animals out of the severe cold goes beyond pets. Livestock and horses need shelter too. who says humans get all the fun on Super Bowl Sunday. Some four-legged Bronco fans are gearing up for the Super Bowl too. Check out these looks created by Paw Prints Pet Grooming. The company is based in Colorado and is counting down the days until the big game. The groomer offers everything from painted nails to temporary tattoos and, of course, plenty of orange and blue in honor of the Denver Broncos. You may want to take a closer look at your credit card statements tonight. The Better Business Bureau has issued a national alert about a scam that charges small amounts to thousands of debit and credit cards. Look for unexplained charges of $9.84. It could be a sign that you have been targeted. The thieves apparently think it's easier to get away with these small charges, and the Better Business Bureau says credit card companies aren't as likely to go after such a small amount. The BBB says if you find any small unexplained charges on your card, you should report it and get a new card. Here now are your noontime 16 stocks of local interest. We'll be right back. Well, a night of indulgence is certainly needed since most of us are suffering from cabin fever, all because of the bitter cold. This Friday, Unity Gardens is giving you an opportunity to get out of the house with their second annual Night of Indulgence fundraiser. This event starts at 7 p.m. and runs until 10. It takes place at the Doubletree Hilton in downtown South Bend, and while there, you'll be served a 3-course meal of chocolate. As you can see here in the video, each course is paired with a wine and beer that complements each dish. All of the food is made by Indulgence Pastry Shop and Cafe, and the liquor is provided by Citywide Liquors. But this is more than throwing a few ingredients together. Making these works of art is a well-thought-out process.
So when I create these desserts, we're always concerned about flavor profiles. But there's a lot of other things that I want to think about, and that's whether the dessert's gonna be heavy or light, the time of year it is. You know, in the wintertime we eat more heavier items. In the summer, spring we go lighter. So we're using all natural ingredients, so we're not using any type of additives or preservatives or shelf stables for this stuff to be able to sit on the shelf for a long, long time.
Now, if you are interested in buying tickets for the event, just go to our website, WNDU.com, and click on the Big Red Bar. One Chicago eatery is trying to take the sting out of the bitter cold by offering soup for the price of the day's temperature. And get this, when it's below zero, customers actually get money back. Yeah, the promotion is going on at 3 Mathers restaurants. They're run by a nonprofit that is focused on the elderly. The promotion runs through the end of February. The weather could play a big role in the biggest day of the NFL season, the Super Bowl. But not everyone is worried about when the game will be played. Many viewers are more excited to see what advertisers will dish out during those commercial breaks.
We shall prevail.
It all started with Apple Computer's iconic 1984 spot 30 years ago.
Surprise.
Now we have Arnold Schwarzenegger in a blonde wig for Bud Light.
What do you say, boys? Time to go to bed?
While members of the Full House cast reunite for yogurt.
Don't you think it'd be nice to try something new?
With companies paying millions of dollars for a 30-second TV spot, many are trying to get the most bang for their buck by debuting teasers for their ads online, well before the big game. Experts say it's all about building buzz.
They're spending $3 million advertising for a Super Bowl ad. They want as much coverage as they can get. So they're starting weeks before with teasers. Then they go into the ad. Some of them have follow-ups a few weeks after during prime time. They'll show a follow-up ad or see what happens.
So what to watch for this year? Instead of scantily clad models, Axe Body Spray has opted to make Love Not War this year's theme. NASCAR driver Danica Patrick leads a pack of bodybuilders for GoDaddy.com. A shirtless Terry Crews teams up with the Muppets for Toyota. Audi is also teasing something scary, and a villainous-looking Ben Kingsley shills for Jaguar.
Someone has eaten all the Doritos in the break room.
Doritos is again going with amateur filmmakers for their ad. One of these funny finalists will be chosen to air on game day.
David Beckham. He's an incredible photogenic personality.
Football star David Beckham is back in his briefs for H&M. In a Super Bowl first, viewers will be able to order the underwear instantly if they're watching on a Samsung Smart TV. Some of the ads are being kept under wraps, including an apparent tease from U2. The rock and roll supergroup will reportedly unveil a new song and album during the big game, February 2nd, and millions will be watching.
And kickoff for the Super Bowl is for 6:30 this Sunday, and we'll have another check of your forecast when we return after these commercials. Stay tuned.
Looks like it's shaping up to be a gorgeous afternoon all across Michiana. Temperatures are warming, and even on 16 Future Track, you're going to notice something that may not show up on this map. A lot of cloud cover. Most of that activity is going to stay to the north. We're going to be in the clear going into the overnight hours tonight. It does mean single digits, but not before we see those middle and upper teens. Take a look all across Michiana. Sunny weather is expected and could even be pushing the lower to middle 20s down in Francisville, coming in at 23 degrees later this afternoon. In the 7-day planning forecast, we may be going that roller coaster ride up and down, but 20s, I think most people can deal with that after the sub-zero temperatures over the past 2 days. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I do, and I've never been so happy to see double digits in my life. So it's so very comfortable, especially with the sun shining. That's going to do it for News Center 16 News at noon. We encourage you to tune in tonight for our 90 minutes of news for more on that top news story today. Notre Dame announcing plans, $400 million renovation plans at the stadium.
Yeah, the stadium is going to look quite a bit different. If you are heading out and about, do take extra time on the roadways. Bundle up today and make sure you join us tomorrow morning beginning at 4:30.